What is up, everyone? Welcome to Plastic Cards Podcast, a show where we break down the video game news of the week. I'm joined by my host, Gavaroni Jones. I didn't say my name, Gavin. I'm Fonzie. Like, it doesn't matter. Nice to meet you.
Fonzie, did we forget we were stalling for a sec?
Yeah, a little bit. I forget where I am most of the time. But Gavin, how are you doing?
I'm good. Things are, it's a little cold right now.
In the room? We can bundle
no,
up.
in where we live.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But, I know I'm doing the white person thing of immediately talking about
we
the
were just
weather.
talking about water for like half an hour out there when you got home.
It's very true. Spicy water.
I love my carbonated water. You know, I did have, I don't know if you saw a picture, but that dude Paul that has a food truck, I tried some wings. Jake Paul. Friends with him. I tried his wings. It's like, it was just a regular like Frank's Red Hot Sauce kind of wing.
Okay.
But with some lemon pepper, and dude, they're awesome.
Oh.
That's my story.
This is a food truck in town?
Yeah, is in town. It's that guy Paul. It's Easy Eats. I don't know if you've remember him. Yeah. So it was just this. But then when I got home, Rune was just mouth up to my mouth, like sniffing me, just downloading the information of what I ate. But they were great wings.
That does remind me. I got a recommendation yesterday about. Have you ever had Korean fried chicken?
I haven't. I want to.
It's like, I don't know what they do. It's just crispier and juicier. But yesterday my girlfriend had her friend bought some Korean fried chicken at Costco, and you just throw it in the air fryer, and apparently it's almost as good.
Ooh.
So
I want to try. Is it like frozen area? Costco.
Yeah,
Draw me a map so I can.
Okay.
Make sure.
But they change it every week.
They do. Yeah.
This podcast brought to you by Costco.
I wish, man. I'll take that money. If they just pay us in hot dogs, I'll also accept that too. Just the $1.50 hot dogs.
As long as they like throw it at my face.
Yeah. Just Pike's Place style where they throw the fish. It's just hot dogs instead.
Yeah. Have you ever had YouTube? Because like I swear the
YouTube
video recommendations are just getting like worse by the day. Like it thinks I'm very basic, which I am, but like.
You are.
I don't know. It thinks I'm more basic than I am, but it'll just be like, oh, here's hot chicks with like trying to catch a hot dog in the mouth, and I'm like, first of all, I want to try.
Yeah. You just want to see if you can do it.
Do I get anything if I win?
You could do it with what is your concern? Like maybe a manlier food you could catch in your mouth, maybe.
Oh, I'd still do it.
It's a hot dog,
Give me the bigger hot dog. I got a bigger mouth.
Yeah. We ever talk about? Just in our lives, the hot dog challenge. It's like every 4th of July. Is it Neiman's? Would you ever
Newman's
try?
Own?
It's like some kind of hot dog company puts it on, but it's like the most famous hot dog eating challenge. I'm sure you've seen.
Oh,
stuff in your
God,
life
yeah. No,
But would you ever do that?
I can't speed eat. Like I cannot. No. Although there was a hot dog eating contest in town, I was tempted to get my coworker on it because he's got like a bottomless stomach. Which is crazy because he's
I remember that.
He's tiny, he's skinny, but he will put away, like we did a taco eating contest at work, and like every year he'll do it easily, like a third to like twice as much as everyone else.
Yeah,
it's like we should bring you in, but he'd take his time. You can't.
It's always it's got to be it's a timed thing.
Yeah,
it's a Nathan's Hot Dog is a sponsor, so it's like a Nathan's Hot Dog Challenge.
Oh, okay.
Name of that. But you did a hot wing challenge a while ago.
I did. That
you almost died from.
Yeah, no, I definitely. Well, the problem is they canceled it, and so
it just showed up after hours, knocking on the door.
No, they canceled it, and so I went and got teriyaki chicken, and then I ate that,
God.
and then they put a Facebook post. I'm like, hold on, guys, we're back on, and so I gotta go with a belly full of chicken.
Why did you still go? Was it like you paid for a ticket kind of thing? It's like, I
just wanted to go.
Oh. Okay.
I wanted to do it, and then they did it, and I'm glad I would have rather have gone the first round because I guess the first round their stuff like they ended on the last dab, and the second round, which is the one I did, they started with the last dab.
What?
And I think they got even hotter the next round. But yeah, too many people got to the end the first time they did it.
I see. So they really bumped it up and like overcorrected.
They sure did. So I think we knocked out 2 or 3 people that first wing, and then it was just me and some kid and his stepdad, and that guy was determined, or that stepdad was determined to beat his stepson, which was funny.
I thought to gain the respect of the stepson, but nope.
Yes, no, well, maybe, but it was definitely like as we were walking in, like he turned to me and he's just like, "Oh, are you good with spice?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty good with spice." He's like, "I'm not at all." Just doing this because my stepson wants, and he whooped my ass.
And that was the height of your spice tasting, right? Like
Yeah,
level.
I stopped because that killed my stomach for like a month.
Yeah.
Like my food capacity was like half.
It's a good diet tactic. It's just burn
not
your
recommend.
stomach completely, and then
Sure, I
I'll
wouldn't
give it a
recommend
shot.
it. Yeah. So the bomb. That's the diet tactic. Cause
Yeah, I was out with that kind of stuff at that level. It's like I can't do it. The most I've gotten is, if you remember, it's still around, Buffalo Wild Wings. We've gone there, and if
oh
you
yeah,
just because they give you that flavor chart of how hot they get,
yeah,
and I'll get
yeah,
sort of into that range, and I'm like, okay, it's not fun anymore. It's like I want to eat to
yeah.
have fun, to enjoy it, and not for me.
Those are fun, but yeah, I think the tricky bit, the thing that I wish people could experience is like ghost pepper does have a good flavor,
Mm,
like in well-made hot sauces. But yeah, if you can't get to the flavor because of the heat, then what are you gonna do?
yeah, nice.
But,
Have you watch anything, play anything this week?
uh, yes.
Yeah, you got your, you mentioned your Steam Deck. So do you play that when you're in town a lot?
Yeah, yeah. So I get a ton of use out of that thing. And what am I playing now? I started playing Tiny Tina's Wonderland last night because it was on
Oh,
like sale for $6.
yeah. Now it's because it's not even that long ago. Was it maybe 2 years it released?
That
Maybe
sounds right.
3
That
at the
sounds
most.
right. I don't.
But that's the D&D themed one,
Yeah.
right? How is it?
So it runs super well.
Okay.
I played it before, but I didn't get very far. But now when I'm just here in town, I have a little more time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
It's standalone. It's not like you need a Borderlands 3 to play it.
no, it's absolutely standalone, and it's also cool because like all the other Borderlands, you only have one ability,
Yeah.
and it's on like a very long cooldown. So maybe you get to do something cool every 60 seconds besides shooting. Whereas this one, you get two, and a wand. I might be overquoting. I haven't got very far, but it's also the only one where you get to create a character. So this is my D&D instead of playing Baldur's Gate 3 because that thing's not going to go on sale for like 2 years.
No, you're just gonna tell your kids this was Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. Also, I forgot. So that guy on the left there was voiced by Andy Samberg. The robot is voiced
Oh, I remember
by
there was a good cast for this.
yeah,
Right?
Wanda Sykes is the robot, and then what's his name? Who's the really deep voice guy from Arrested Development? He also voices like
Oh,
cartoon Batman.
Will Arnett.
Will Arnett.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Will Arnett is the bad guy. So yeah, it's very fun, and I wish I could remember. Do you have Hulu at all?
I do.
I wish you could pull it up, but I don't want you to dox yourself. But there's this show you would probably love.
Well, I think it just canceled like all my subscriptions.
I've also got to do this.
And I keep, it's one of those things where I walk around the house saying that every time I get like a message of so and so charge you whatever. I'm like, I don't watch this anymore. I don't
Yeah.
use this anymore.
I'm about to cancel my Disney Plus, but they just came out with the new R-rated or TV MA like Daredevil series.
Oh,
Or, like the first
or it's
part,
coming
and
out.
then they're gonna do the Daredevil.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and that was my favorite. But yeah, there was something. It was called like Those Poor Girls or Very Good Girls or something like that. And it's just like
It sounds familiar.
it's so cringy. I don't know whether they're in England or Ireland.
The Very Good Girls?
No, apparently not.
Hulu Girls? Hula Hoop Girls? How would I search this?
I don't know without just going on to Hulu. Oh, that was it. Such Brave Girls, and
I
it's just
see.
so like very mental. Like the one girl's got what this one's just got severe depression, so everything's just
Standard.
like gonna kill myself about it, and no one can relate. And the other girl is just like insane hormonal teenager, just like overflowing with hormones, and their mom is insane.
I saw the A24 logo on there, so
Oh, I didn't even notice.
that means
Yeah.
90% of the time I'm in.
Yeah, but I don't know. It will scar you for life. There's definitely a scene where like she walks into the kitchen and like their mom's new boyfriend is fingering their mom and he's like looking at her and the mom doesn't see. He's like, "Well, do I stop or are you
I
gonna
feel like,
are you gonna walk away?"
did you tell me about this or did I dream this? I feel like we talked about it recently
I don't know.
or some unlocked trauma in my brain. But I think maybe before the pod last time
Yeah.
you said you were watching and there was that scene.
Oh God.
Made an impression. That's cool.
It's-
Yeah, it sounds like a cool
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. What about you? What you been playing?
Oh, Echo is what debuts tonight with Daredevil. It's from Brandon on the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the one I wanna.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Marvel stuff I've been watching at all lately, but
No.
I mean, besides 30 Rock and Office on repeat, which is
Sure.
what we basically watch. I did watch a second of it's this What's the guy from 300? It's a main dude. He does a lot of
Gerard
these.
Butler?
Yeah, Gerard Butler.
You watched Plane?
No, but that's one that when it came out, people were like, it's surprisingly good for
Right.
how bad it
That's
should
what I
be.
hear.
But it's an asteroid movie with Gerard Butler, and it came out like 2 years ago. Never heard of it, but it was. I saw a TikTok trailer basically for it.
You're not talking about Moonfall, are you?
No, I know what the fuck Moonfall is. I was interested in that one. That one is garbage too, but this
Yeah.
one was just interesting.
Yeah, at least Moonfall does kind of fall under that so bad it's good category.
Man, I don't even remember the name of the freaking movie.
Speaking of, that was the guy from Sharknado, wasn't it? The Moonfall guy?
Like the director
No, the actor.
in Moonfall.
Yeah.
Isn't Guy Pearce in it? No, there's another one where they have to go to a space station. I can't accurately remember.
Hmm.
But you're talking about the dude who was on 90210 who's in Sharknado?
Well, I'm fully lost now.
Yeah. Well, no. Besides that, not a whole lot. We did watch Saltburn a couple weeks ago.
Oh, how is that?
It's dope. I don't know if you've ever seen any
I know-
trailers.
I
or
know
no.
nothing about
You
it.
should go in knowing absolutely nothing about it, but it's great.
It's something I would like. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll say that.
We're gonna scar you for life again.
No, there's not any cool. Well, there is some interesting, we'll say, scenes in it, but
Hmm.
it's just awesome. And if you've heard, do you remember my analogy with this? I keep using when I talk about the movie. Do you remember the movie?
Oh, it's a movie?
It's a movie,
Oh, I thought it was a show.
and you can stream it. It's a like. But do you remember the movie Talented Mr. Ripley? If you don't, the
Apparently
analogy
no.
doesn't work now.
Oh, okay.
That works half the time, but it's good. It's weird. It's good. I think that's another A24 thing. If not, it's like up there. But it's also shot in that letterbox
Oh,
format, which is cool.
okay.
It works for that movie. It's really dope. But yeah, just like gets weirder the more you like as you watch it. It's really good.
Hmm.
Really, really good.
Well, that's awesome.
But if you're
I'll
online, which
check
I
it
can
out.
tell you're not, that's like taking over the internet. Is
Okay,
Saltburn.
so watch it before the spoilers come in.
Yeah, even then, like we got sort of spoiled, like just from TikTok people like putting their impressions of before the movie and then after, just like how they looked,
Hmm.
and it was just cool seeing that where it's like, okay, I'm in, I'll watch it.
Nice.
And another same thing that's happening on TikTok is that wrestling movie that's coming out or that's out.
Oh, with like Zac Efron?
Yeah, people are like videotaping themselves like, I'm getting ready to watch this movie. Can't wait for Zac Efron, the guy from Sing or whatever that
Right,
musical
right,
movie.
right.
And then it's just like devastation when they're done because apparently it's like really heavy,
Yeah.
but it looks really cool. It's a dude from the Bears also in it. Everyone's super
Oh,
jacked.
yeah.
Yeah, you gotta watch it.
That would be. There's one. I don't know. Do you have Apple TV?
Just says talk about Saltburn. If you like to take baths, then you'll really like it. So
Oh, love a good good bubble bath.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Do you have Apple TV?
It might be one of the
The ones you
10
killed.
services that I
Yeah.
deleted or still haven't deleted.
Zac Efron was in a really good one on them called Greatest Beer Run of All Time. Have you heard
I've
of
never.
that?
No.
It's
Sounds
like
cool.
it's a true story about this guy who's like he's not doing anything with his life and he's just hanging out in the bar all day.
Yep.
And his buddies are like some of his buddies are off in Vietnam, and like
So it's current day.
so that's what he decides he's gonna do with himself. He's like, I'm gonna bring him beers. That's his accent the whole time. But so it's played by Zac Efron, and he's going out to Vietnam, and it's kind of cute because like some of these reactions from these guys is like you were insane, you were the biggest idiot on planet Earth, but also like kind of thank you for the beer.
What?
But he almost gets like several of his buddies killed. Like, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. And also like this change in perspective of like very patriotic and just like, yeah, we're doing it for the boys. It's just like, oh, the boys are getting fucked.
Yeah.
This is
So this
bad.
whole thing's a morally gray area. It's not like World War II or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wait, that reminds me roughly of this movie that it came out. I remember they were talking about it when it was being like pitched or whatever. But it's this dude, real life dude, that wanted to go to Afghanistan to kill Osama bin Laden. He took like a sword.
Is
He
he
just went-
super like out of shape?
Yeah, he's just like a crazy dude that just went over there and was trying
Okay.
to like, finish it off or whatever. But they made a movie based on him too.
Is it a documentary or a movie?
No, it was just
movie?
like a fictional like depiction of what happened. But
Okay, tell me he was played by Harry Potter. He was played
I want to say Nicolas Cage, but that could be just another
my
dream I
God.
had. But
That's not that new movie with Nicolas Cage, like Retirement Plan or whatever, is it?
no, they're talking about the one where everyone dreams him.
No, I don't remember
There's
what
so
that
many
one's
Nicolas
called.
Cage
Oh, Jesus
movies.
Christ! Yeah, he's back, baby. He's back.
He never, yeah, he kept pumping them out.
Oh, that's true. He kind of never left.
Yeah. Although you might have mentioned last time we were talking too that he's finally like he's paid off whatever, so he can like choose or make movies that he wants to somewhat.
Okay,
Where it's like
that's
he's
good.
not just like
That's
pumping
good.
these. Yeah.
Good for him.
But even amongst that, he made these movies that people really dug, like Pig. Had a lot of people talking about it.
He said
Or
that's his favorite movie he's ever done.
yeah,
Which
or
is interesting
Mandy.
because I feel like most actors like won't pick a favorite because they're all kind of your baby. But like,
Mm,
no, Pig.
yeah,
That's the
well, he's
one.
a interesting dude,
Yeah.
to say the least. But I'll watch anything he's in. He's awesome. But yeah,
What now? Would you play anything he's in?
no, not the Dead by Daylight one where they
No.
just like use his voice or AI uses voice or something like that. Yeah.
I was gonna. I
If
was
they
gonna
built a
play as
ground
him.
up or from the ground up movie or game with Nicolas Cage, of course, yeah.
Okay. Now, even though that they have your boy Alan Wake in the game now.
No, that whole game just doesn't call to me. It's just not
Okay.
fun.
Okay.
Future Corp says, "You guys trying to figure out what movie is what should be its own podcast with a drinking game."
Oh
Yeah, then
God.
we would
Oh
be
God.
wasted. There would be no, but we couldn't. We'd have to not be able to use the internet and just be like, "What's that one dude who walked by this house and they're watching that movie?"
Now
and
that just
he's in
sounds
that.
like have you seen the YouTube show like Who Is That? I think it's called like Who Is That with Tig Notaro.
No, but oh yes, where she doesn't know who they are,
She doesn't know who
and they're
anyone
celebrities.
is. Yeah,
Yeah,
like A-list or like B to mid A.
yeah.
Like,
There were some big ones on there. I remember that.
like who?
There were just a
yeah,
few episodes. I remember watching that and liking it, but they just
Yeah.
like there was only a couple of them. But it's like, keep
That's-
doing that. That's awesome.
I would watch it all day. And some of the hints, like she didn't know who James Vanderbeek is, so some of the like hints for them are so good.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah.
But I forgot about that. That's a good. That's a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah, Gavin. Stuff happened. This time of the year is always slow with gaming news,
Yes.
but I have a lot of videos that I'm gonna show you too.
Aside from apparently everyone tried out Kill the Justice League, and
That's one of the things. The impressions. are
nobody
not great.
happy.
Not great. We'll get to that, Gavin.
All right.
We got this first one here is going to be a cool little video for you. This is
Tell me this is in game.
This is in game. This engine is a Cyberpunk mod. It's a really well known mod. He's done GTA 5 as well. But
Wow.
the graphics are insane on this mod. And I've tried to download his other stuff. I just don't know how to actually use it, how to implement it, because it's all these files and stuff you're changing names for. But if you can get it to run how it's running, it looks nuts. It's just like one for one real life.
So what exactly does the mod do though?
I don't know. I don't know what
Okay.
mods are, honestly.
I just got here.
But it's almost like the saturation or like the lighting is changing to also make it seem more real life. I think that's doing a lot of work,
Yeah.
but I don't think there's any new textures, that kind of thing.
I don't think this car is in the game.
And I don't know if that's a mod
It's my
that is on
guess.
top of another mod. I'm a dude just trying to play another
Yeah, I
dude.
know.
We'll fast forward here a little bit. It just looks nuts.
God, this game is pretty. Like it's still insane like how many games that have come out. And I know like CD Projekt Red has the money now to make the game look this good, but it is insane.
It must be
What
a
they
matter of
did.
like, yeah, it can be done with a mod, but it's not stable. Like, there's got to be a reason why CD Projekt Red isn't also doing something like this. Like, there's got to be stuff that we just don't understand.
Yeah. I mean, I think most of this, like you look at the environments, that's pretty much what it looks like.
Future Corpse asks if I'm a mod, and I might be a mod. But yeah, it's just insane, and I keep seeing this same modder is posting different trailers and just like gameplay footage, and it's nuts. And it's like $10. It's not too crazy, but then you have to understand how to actually
For what
do
now?
it for the mod itself. It's like a mod.
Oh
you buy.
wow. I was not aware.
Yeah, it's tied behind a Patreon, and you pay for that, and then you get access to the mod. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then,
Gotcha.
because I was very interested in doing this, but then if you go to that Patreon, all these people asking questions of like, I'm running into this issue. How do I fix it? And like, this
Give the
isn't
car
working.
boobs.
But yeah, but like, no one's responding. So it's like, I know that I'm gonna have all the
Oh,
questions in the world,
yeah.
and no one's gonna help me. So
Yeah, I get that.
you're screwed.
Hmm.
Brad Dam says this car game looks beautiful. Yeah, it's Cyberpunk, which is a game that's out. It's been out for a bit, but it's a crazy mod that's been added to all this.
There's some. Can you go back? Like, look at that weird side view mirror. Like, that's so. I wonder if they're not running on.
Oh, the pixelation on the yeah.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, you're trying to reflect this with other reflections going on. It's like you got to have something's got to give at some point,
Huh.
so you have a pixelated rear view.
They don't have the 80 series card.
Yeah, I don't know, and that's the thing. I don't know what it takes to run this, but it looks bonkers.
Oh, Oh, that's the thing I forgot to. Well, that was the problem. When I came over last time, we
Yeah.
looked at because Fonzie has a 40 series card. I have a 30 series, so I can't do the.
It's one of those like DLSS 3. There's a couple of different features they have on that
Yeah. Oh, the
graphics card.
overdrive. The deal.
Oh, the
No.
ray tracing
Yeah, I
overdrive?
can't do the ray
Yeah.
tracing overdrive like you can.
Well, apparently I couldn't because it ran at like 15 frames a second.
Well, you remember what the problem was, though?
Oh, I think DLSS wasn't
Yeah,
on.
it was
Yeah.
turned off. But I forgot to look at. I mean, the problem was when we popped in, it was daytime in the game.
Mm.
But to look at, I know the big thing.
It's got to be a
is,
Tuesday for it to work. I forgot.
Yeah, exactly. When you look at the reflections in mine, like they're good, but they're a little blurry, whereas yours can do those real crisp reflections. I forgot to look at that, but it was also daytime, which makes it hard.
Which I booted up recently. It's like it ran fine. So
Yeah.
it could have been a DLSS thing. Even that was
Oh, it
like,
was definitely
had
that.
issues.
100% that.
But I'll move from like my TV in the living room, which is a 4K TV, and I'll adjust settings there, and then go back to the monitor. So I think it was just stuck on trying to run 4K or whatever.
Speaking of 40 series cards, you see they're coming out with the new. They just announced.
Yeah, it's like a 470 kind of revision.
What do they call them again? Omega
The
Turbo Supers.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
And it's fine. It's like, okay, they keep doing these things that make nobody happy. I guess from the different media outlets that I watched cover it, their thing was at least they dropped the price of the ones they're kind of replacing. So there was at least like kind of a NVIDIA not doing what they've been doing. So there's hope that like they can kind of get back to this, what that pricing model was before the pandemic, where it wasn't crazy expensive, or when they introduced new cards, they would be cheaper or just more cost effective to upgrade. But yeah, it's also over my head kind of stuff.
That's good. Yeah. So time to get in there.
Time to get in there, Gavin. I wanted you to see that little video. We got Palworld. Palworld is coming to early access January something. It's pretty soon.
Holy shit! Seriously?
Yep.
Okay.
It's gonna hit early access on Xbox and PC.
This game has to be huge, right?
Well, I don't know if it hasn't come out yet, right?
Right.
Apparently, but it looks nuts. Where I could see kids, lots of people jumping into this because it's Pokemon and Fortnite together.
Right. It's just got like when they talk about the gameplay systems, like it's insane. Like you can do. I think there was base building. There's definitely like factory building, and you like enslave these things, which is illegal in the game world because, of course, enslaving things is terrible. But also, you can do it, and you can make a bunch of money that way. And
but Pokemon, that's the whole jam. They just don't talk about how.
Yeah, if you think about it, yeah, for sure.
And they sit in the dark in their cubes or whatever in their Pokeballs.
But now you got them like mass manufacturing guns or farming your blood. Yeah, they were in the background.
Yeah,
but this is just. I don't know. It's the fact that it's got all these systems that people love, and it's also like a meme at the same time. Like, this is gonna kill it.
This is a game that you're never on TikTok, which I hate, but you'll find this thing on other social media platforms where you're just scrolling and they play an ad, right? So one popular one is like these fake mobile games where they're obviously they don't exist, but it's just like an ad.
Yeah, and then now you got like at least on the YouTube Shorts or whatever, it'll be like, oh, today we're playing fake games. Oh, this game seems pretty real to me.
Like what is sponsored by Fake Game 3?
What universe are we in?
Yeah, but they're always like these. Some of them are like, make this game. This actually looks pretty neat, like a good time waster. But it's like this is that they made the game that's like a fake mobile game into a real thing, and merged all these properties that like shouldn't really be together but work. You gonna sneeze? Sneeze time. Yeah.
Well, you saw that there've been
I don't know where
one or two games where people actually made the fake games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they'll put them in like a collection, so you can play a bunch of the fake games.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
because some of them are really cool ideas.
You want to pull the key,
the
key, get
and then
the
that
lava,
introduces lava in the water.
Yeah,
and your mom's in there somehow.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's coming to early access, January 19th.
Dude, I'm excited. January. Wow.
Move to some news. We got a new 343 Halo project in development since 2022. This is reported, not official yet, or even like confirmed, but pulled this from Insider Gaming.
Okay.
What do you think about possibly this secret Halo being made, and what would that next Halo be? Is it even a sequel? What do you think?
Well, I think you're the resident Halo expert. So
you say that. I remember the last time we recorded, or one of the times you saying that, and it's being stuck in my brain because I've played Halo, and in your mind that makes me a Halo expert.
You were obsessed in high school.
I read a book. I read a couple books. All right.
Okay.
I did shave the Halo symbol into my head. All right, I guess.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Nice.
For Halo 3, and I did stay out to one of the midnight launches. So I guess I'm a Halo fan.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not debating. I'm not a fan. It's just not a super fan, but they're dope. And I liked Infinite. Did you ever play?
I never got like I was always yeah I never got very far, and then like I tried it a bunch. That was always my benchmark for trying out like XCloud in different situations. And
Oh, but
boy,
shooters are also the worst thing to test in those
oh,
kind of
this one
things.
especially
Yeah.
is extra bad. Like I remember playing Destiny on Stadia and thinking, oh, this is kind of bad. And then I played this. I'm like, no,
Did
this is so much worse.
did Destiny kind of work on Stadia?
Yeah, it kind of worked. Like
Oh,
it definitely felt like your mouse just didn't stop where you wanted it to
that's
because you need to
something
stop
you
it
need
half a
in a
second.
first person shooter. But yeah.
Yeah, but it's
Now the rumor speculation is this game has been worked on since 2022,
okay.
but there's no word on because it's not official yet if it's Bungie, if it's another studio. Do you think
Mm.
it would behoove? I couldn't pronounce the other word earlier, but I can pronounce behoove. Would it beheave Microsoft to have another studio besides Bungie kind of take the reins for some of this stuff?
Sure, especially with how many like let's get you know what would be amazing is what's Tim
Schafer?
Schafer's
Yeah,
studio.
make them have them do just a weird, wacky story based
Yes.
freaking
Was that the
Halo.
joke they made when they like announced they're acquiring
I
us?
wouldn't doubt it.
Like you
Yeah.
guys are working on Halo DLC now? But that I imagine they could do something like imagine them making a game where in I think just because the proportions, but like the grunts, you're doing it from the grunts
Oh, that'd
perspective,
be
and it's
awesome.
just a slapstick comedy.
That'd be
You get
awesome.
shot in the head, birthday
Yeah.
stuff's coming out everywhere.
At least get them to write the dialogue for the grunts when they're
Oh,
running away.
absolutely.
But I
But
think, yeah, especially if now that you have Activision
yeah,
under your wing, like maybe give 343 a break because they've had some struggles with these releases,
yeah.
and until they can kind of fix it, figure it out, or just do like the ODST kind of step where it's like a side story.
Which is the thing everyone wants, right? Did you ever play ODST?
No, didn't call out to me a bunch, but I know people really dug it.
Is that on the Master Chief Collection
It
or
is,
whatever?
yeah. There's
Okay.
ways you can play it now that they're slightly upgraded and stuff.
Hmm.
But I didn't mind Infinite. I thought it was decent. The gameplay or like the multiplayer had a rough launch,
Mhm.
but like now they've added all this stuff to it.
Right.
It's really cool. Forge is up and running, so it's like, but I don't know if they get enough credit for bringing this thing back, at least with multiplayer.
Oh, sure.
And I would have loved some single player DLC, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen.
Well, didn't they say they like canceled it?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Okay.
I know that was maybe an idea, or at least they kind of set this world up to be something they can keep adding to, but
Yeah.
it's just not a thing anymore.
It's just weird how they've just not supported. Well, I don't know.
You
Maybe
mean
they have.
besides multiplayer or just like the single player?
Yeah, I guess besides multiplayer, like I don't know. I'm very confused by like what gets supported at Microsoft and what doesn't. Like
Yeah.
clearly Redfall came out and they're still coming out with DLC for
No,
that
we're
thing.
not jumping on people.
So yeah, it's very confusing.
It's interesting, but apparently they are working behind the scenes on another Halo project. Which, if it started in 2022, we're not going to see it for a while.
They're not.
If that's legit,
We're not seeing it until the next console at this point. So
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt
maybe it'll be ready for that launch.
Yeah.
They can't go for two, right?
Right.
Right.
Now, Gavin, let's move on to, you mentioned Suicide Squad. Some reviews,
Did,
or
yeah.
not reviews, early impressions came out. And I pulled up the Twitter post from Jor Raptor, just kind of
Mhm.
quantifying what people have been talking about it. So IGN says, I left the preview event less optimistic than we came in. Game Informer, so it's kind of mixed. Game Informer, I feel much more confident in Rocksteady's long-awaited follow-up. Eurogamer, it's perhaps trend chasing more than sticking to what the studio does best. And VGC saying, after breaking new ground for the superhero genre, it's sad to think that a decade later, Rockstar is merely following others.
That's a devastating quote.
Yeah, so it's like at least somewhat mixed, but overall, not the best first impression. A lot of people are ripping them apart on Twitter because of some of these screens, like these the actual HUD. So just like
sure.
all the stuff going on.
I
It's
can
just a
see
bummer
that.
to see something like that. And then I do have another tweet pulled up showing off from Rockrider on Twitter here, showing just the difference in HUD from, say, a game like Arkham Knight, which was really focused on like letting you see what's going on, feeling like Batman,
Yeah.
minimal HUD. And then you have something like this, which is Suicide Squad.
That's pretty stark.
Yeah.
That yeah, that's
And just all the different just garbage going on. And
I'm still gonna remain hopeful, but the fact that it sounds like people went in and lost that hope, or liked the story but didn't like the combat, which is gonna be a lot of it.
that's how I felt. So I played was like a private beta, closed beta, and you did have to sign an embargo, and then people were like leaking footage off of that too. But now the impressions are up. I'm sure everybody can talk about it. But
Yeah.
the feeling I got was, yeah, it wasn't for me. Like I didn't want some kind of multiplayer or 4v4, not 4v4, just a multiplayer environment with this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even though Batman games never called out to me, the previous ones, I still
Really?
respected. Yeah, just for some reason about the movement, but I never gave them a fair shake, honestly. But going to this, it's like, oh no, I do not want this kind of like Fortnite-y kind of experience with
Yeah.
these characters. I'd rather just control one. You can just focus on one guy, but it's just like all the different mechanics they're shoving in your face right from the beginning was just annoying.
Yeah.
The coolest parts to me were the story. There's a point where you find this museum that's based on Batman, and it's just like creepy and scary.
Oh, okay.
And Batman
Perfect.
shows up, and he's evil, of course, because all the superheroes are evil. And when he shows up, it's just like it's devastating to be on the other end of Batman, and you feel that way
Oh, sure.
in that level. And it was just so cool, but everything else was just, I don't know, just weird to have them do this the previous Batman games, to go to this. It just seems like their hand was forced, or they really want to do this.
Yeah, that I'm hoping at least, like, with Redfall, we thought we were never going to find out what happened. And we definitely found out what happened. I'm hoping with this we at least find out what the hell happened.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while. This game is even yet to come out, but like they retooled stuff because of there was early on when they pushed the game because of feedback somewhat. But this is still basically the same thing. I don't know if they really retooled or calibrated.
Yeah.
Or they just needed to run better and they need more time.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot of the live service elements are still there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is definitely like live service up the ass.
Yeah. So I don't know. It is kind of crazy though, because it does look pretty. Like, looking at the city, that's a big city. I don't know how much time you're actually going to spend on the ground.
Yeah, in the early or the closed beta, what was weird is they start you off in these almost like Spider-Man on PS1 where everything's foggy and you only have certain places to jump to. They start you off there to kind of train you, I guess, get you used to mechanics, and then eventually you get into the open world. But playing that first part, and I hope they change that for like new players.
Sure.
Because that first beginning part is just like really just sucks your soul out of your body, where it's like not fun. Everything that's cool here, at least if there's anything cool here, it's all removed from that early, and you play for at least half an hour before you get to the open world. So it's just like not the best way to introduce people to it. But we'll see. I don't have the date pulled up, but I know it's coming out soon. Yeah. For sure this year. So we will see.
And the industry's going in a weird place. I mean, the lucky thing, I feel like we have a lot of good like indie devs that are help like keeping this great, and I think because of them have left studios like this. I know that happened with what was that? Who are the people that make? Well, now I can't remember that.
Just layoffs in general, because last year it was all layoffs like across the board.
Speaking of layoffs, did you see Unity's laying off another 25%?
Yeah. Which at least they waited till after the holidays, because the move is always right before the holidays. Yeah. Mass layoffs.
Yeah, and they're going to give everyone their severance. The one point I did hear is like that is a lot of employees in general for an engine. And I'm not being critical or anything. Like I just don't actually know this number. How many employees do you need for an engine?
I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, because it's maybe they had just too many people.
Right.
And not enough things going on for them to have it, and it was bloated,
Yeah, and that was a huge thing during the pandemic. Everyone was hiring like extra people, like for jobs, for work that they didn't even have for them. They're just like, oh, we'll keep you around. So that, if like 1,800 people is a quarter of their staff, like that's a lot of people. And I realize some of that might be for like localization or stuff like that. But yeah, if you're not making content, what...
Right.
I assume you're not going to want a ton of programmers on certain sections, or I don't know. Maybe they got plans, but yeah, for Epic, at least Epic Games, like they also make games, so you need a shit ton of artists.
Right.
You're going to make anything. So I don't, but that's not, again, not a criticism. I just literally don't know, but that is a big number.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, and I wonder, is it too soon to say this is tied to the whole backlash with them changing their price structure?
So. I think it's
seems like something was coming down the line anyways.
Yeah. Well, the quote I loved, I forget what it was, but from it was on GameDeveloper.com about like, we're going to be customer first experience and working on like increasing profitability and visibility on profits and something profits. And it's just like, well, we know on the statement you've given, the first thing is a lie. It's not about the customers. So basically, this is about money, money, and money.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I get it. You're a business. You got to run, but like,
yeah, there's no loyalty with these huge corporations. It's like,
yeah,
it's par for the course, but it's still a bummer.
yeah. You got to pretend that it's about the product you're selling. Like
Yeah.
people don't buy Nike because I just want to give Nike more money.
Right.
They
And you mentioned the saving grace, at least with like we're talking about Suicide Squad, with the indie scene picking stuff up
Sure.
and just making these newer experiences, what they've had done for
yeah
decades now, but like it's been a huge thing in recent memory where it's like that's where these really unique ideas are coming out of.
yeah
But when we're talking about layoffs, it's like these people are getting laid off, but it seems like they're going elsewhere. It's like they're still
Yes.
staying in that industry, which is great, and they're just going to places that are actually going to give them that space and not fire them right before Christmas or whatever.
And luckily, like not necessarily in this case, but like with a lot of these devs that are getting laid off, and they want to go off and do their own thing. Epic is, or the Unreal Engine is getting to that point where you can make a lot of game just by yourself. Like there was that you watched the
the no clip with the guy
Yes.
who worked with under Bethesda on Skyrim and on a bunch of stuff. He was an environmental artist.
Yes,
And made this. I forget the name of his game, but it's like
he might have been an environmental designer.
it could be
Like,
level designer maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
But he's making actively and like pretty close to being done this game on his own. It's like this 3D hunting game, but it's in not Norse mythology, but it's just like metal infused.
Yeah, it's like a
he
metal
said?
universe, almost
Yeah.
kind of similar to like what they did with like Brutal Legend back in
Right.
the day. Like every angle should look like a metal album cover.
They're like weird monsters and stuff, and like he's
Yeah.
just but you can tell this guy is super duper smart. He knows what he's doing,
Yeah, absolutely.
and he learned all this info of like just stuff to increase efficiency and like different roadblocks he was used to, like, but still had to learn an engine from the ground up. But yeah, you can do that now as one dev.
Yeah, so
It's cool. It is cool.
Yeah.
Gotta move on to the next one here. Just another cool video.
Mhm.
This is let's see, CES is happening this week, and a bunch of stuff
Sony
launched.
gave a speech.
They had Sony had a car drive out too, which I don't have that video.
Please tell me somebody threw a massive metal ball at it.
No, but they have this new. It's still a e-vehicle. It's a whatever battery powered. How does that work?
Yeah.
How electric car. There we go.
Yeah.
It's an electric car that Sony made that they rolled out or drove out using a PS5 controller. Somehow that was able to.
I feel like after the whole submarine debacle, we just stopped piloting vehicles with like, I know that's what like the military does and stuff because it's way easier to train people,
Right.
But
yeah, that was just when you mentioned that happened at CES too. I think yesterday.
Are they making an electric vehicle? Have
Yeah.
they made vehicles before?
No, I think this is their first one, but they're partnering with some other company to do it.
Okay.
But people are excited that they used the PS5 controller to drive it, at least on stage. But what we have here out of CS is RTX Half-Life 2 RTX, which is just something I'm super stoked for.
Specifically the RTX Remix, which is that tool that NVIDIA made to make it so people can do this a lot more easily.
Which I wonder, it's still not like an option of turn ray tracing on. It's like you still have to kind of implement this. So some studios doing this, which we saw the name.
So that's where I don't know.
But like it takes work still, right? So this is Orbifold Studios.
Yeah, and I think they use some like AI to like help upscale the textures, and you can do some stuff with the models. So there's some.
And it's still a game that this is on Source 1, right? From Valve. So it's like they have to put it into UE5 and then rework everything. Like I wonder.
No, I think it's still in Source, I believe. And I think you're supposed to be able to do it with like, so one example they gave was like one of the Elder Scroll games. I think it was Morrowind. So clearly you can do it in several different engines.
Gotcha. That's true. There's some old boomer shooters that have done this already. Is it Quake they did this with his ray tracing mode?
I don't know. So they did. I don't know that was using RTX Remix though. I think that was like an official thing. Although I think people are going after Valve because like Valve has proved that they're just kind of fucking chill. Like
yeah,
there's the one people making the what was the Half-Life game remake of the first one. What was that called?
God, I know what you're talking about, and I'm blanking on it.
Yeah,
But
so
it's a thing that I played.
yeah, so they remade
Half-Life One.
Half-Life 1 and the new engine. They made it super pretty, and like at the end, like Val was like, "Hey, why don't we just make it official?"
Right.
Mm.
So YNT in the chat says this is a remake. So it's just what, a remaster? Not even a remaster. It's
I
just
think it's basically
a
just
coat
a
of paint,
mod.
yeah, basically like a mod.
Yeah.
With, I know they're upgrading the textures. That's part of the trailer that they show off.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
also using ray tracing for lighting. So
Right.
this crazy atmospheric lighting. But it's something that, at least with Portal 2, because they did that with Portal 1, anyways.
Right.
There was a ray tracing mod that's free if you own Portal, and I
Yeah.
tried that on my PC, and it's awesome and it looks really good. But this is something that you just have to own Portal, and then you can download it.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the same for Half-Life 2.
Yeah.
Which I cannot wait to replay this with this mode on.
Yeah.
But it looks dope, and yeah, that's another Source game, Valve game that has this ray tracing, mode on.
It's weird to think what this might do for like game preservation. When you think of like, oh, do you want to play the original, or do you want to play like the RTX remix version, like the version that you originally played, or the version that's in your head?
Right, and this is what you think of with this like ray tracing mode, like how it looked. But then you can still play the original. You're not changing the controls at all, so it's like it seems like the best balance of we're not changing what you think, how the game feels, plays. Rather, it's just like a visual upgrade, and it looks better. Like maybe not all games will benefit from this style change, but this one does for sure.
Yeah, like I was gonna say I wouldn't want to see like a Breath of the Wild like this, but maybe I would.
Oh, absolutely.
It's something I
You're
noticed.
right, like cell shaded might not work.
So something I noticed with Tears of the Kingdom last time, like I was playing it, is that only the characters are cell shaded. The environments aren't.
And
it creates this weird style where like I'm looking at these hyper realistic floors, and then you just got Toon Link on top.
Right.
So I guess you kind of could, but can you? I don't know how RTX works with like cell shading. Can you have a cell shaded character on a hyper realistic floor? And I just don't know.
That's interesting. I want to see what that looks like.
Yeah,
I can't picture it. Yeah, but our next one here is Helldivers 2. Ooh. It's coming out this month, and I just pulled it up because it looks dope. And it's also PS5, PC crossplay enabled.
Really?
So, yeah,
okay.
Boot it up.
So we can
at some point. I don't know how much it costs, but it looks awesome.
Do we think it'll be? Is this published by Sony?
Yes.
Do we think it'll be free on Sony?
No, they don't do the day and date stuff like
don't.
Xbox does now.
I love the capes. Can we bring back capes in the military?
Right. Yeah, it's really what Star Wars does that still with like battle stuff where soldiers have a cape on.
Yeah.
And then that one game you dig where it's like Space Captain Commander, they have capes, right? Where they have the big honking armor too, and they have a sword. There's just like xenomorphs that they're killing over again.
Warhammer 40K.
Yeah. Don't they have capes?
I think some of them have capes, but I want to say if you have a cape, you're like the big boss. Like some of the Primarchs might have capes, but I could be wrong. There might be more capage.
Yeah, we'll see. But I'm digging the capes. Looks dope, but I just want to play this game really bad.
Yeah.
And I'm not even a big for some reason I will shy away from like third person shooters.
Really?
For the most part. I think Fortnite is the only thing I jump into where it's like, okay, it works in this world.
Right.
But I'm digging this. Although I grew up, Gears of War was a big thing.
Yeah.
But just lately, it's like I want it to be first person.
I was watching a video the other day on, was it Mercenaries? You were a big Mercenaries guy, weren't you?
That was a destructible world.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But also at that time, anything that had physics and also destroyed, that was my jam. Because it was just like so new. And now it's just kind of like an afterthought. But it was awesome at that time.
It's crazy how far we've come, and now we've got the finals, which is just destroy the whole arena.
I played a little bit, and that game is
of the final version.
Yeah,
or
of the finals.
When I originally invited you to the beta.
No, that was I played the beta. I remember not liking it. I played a little bit of the final release that just happened, and I still feel the same way. But it's cool. I like the destructibility.
Yeah.
But you mentioned Mercenaries. That's where my mind goes, where it's like I just want to destroy everything. Okay. But really, I should play like Teardown, where you just like destroy these worlds. Yeah. That pixelated or voxel game.
Teardown. I mean, Teardown's also cool because it'll actually bring your computer to its knees despite what you've got.
Right.
Also, YouTube decided to send me a video yesterday of like people just driving boats into a giant skyscraper. From like they put a pool on top of this one building
In real life?
in Teardown.
Oh, in the game. Okay.
And just like drive off the edge of the building into another skyscraper, and you just watch it realistically crash through all these floors with all these different boats.
That is awesome.
And it is hypnotic. It could put you to sleep. I could watch that all day.
Just film the next Fast and Furious movie in
Absolutely.
in that game. Like I just want to see that. And you can jump boats from building to building, and then it'd be awesome.
I still need to play. My girlfriend got me Fast and the Furious, the board game, in honor of our goof, where I was finally gonna watch. I've never watched a Fast and Furious movie, and so we sat down and watched Fast and Furious. And
you were confused by the remake thing or the reboot.
Yeah. So and Lily'd watched like these movies dozens of times when she was in high school because she had a huge crush on Paul Walker. And yet she was like, why is this, none of this is familiar? And I'm like, yeah, what? Anyway, so she bought me Fast and Furious, the board game, which we have still yet to play.
Pretty exciting are you still trying to steal DVDs or whatever they did in the original?
I don't know. So this truck also, you see how there's a gate down? The truck will open up and you can put the cars in there.
Dope.
So I don't know if you're jacking cars from this. There's also a variant where it's not a truck, it's a helicopter. There's also a variant where it's not a truck or a helicopter, it's a tank.
Dang, okay.
So we're keeping it.
Trying to nail the world.
Yeah.
What you do in those movies.
And in all these pieces, you are jumping from car to car. So
this actually sounds badass,
right? The only thing, we're a little intimidated to try it because, like, so on Board Game Geek, which is a good website to research board games before you buy them.
Okay.
The difficulty rating on learning this one is higher than almost every game we have. So despite this looking super dumb, it's in a genre what's called Ameritrash, where it's just like big dumb luck based. I don't know. Let's have fun, make it pretty. Which normally Ameritrash is pretty low difficulty. Apparently this one's really high.
Also, the need for me to just stop playing the game and move the little cars around on the board is going to take over any, chance I have of listening to the rules.
Yeah.
Is there a little character guy I can play that's Tyrese and Ludacris going to the moon on their spaceship car thing?
I feel like for financial reasons, there are no licensed characters in this game.
I'd call those players.
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't know this existed. Now, this is an interesting one, and I forgot to bring this up, but NYT in the chat says, did you hear about the mod for Fallout 4 with New Vegas? Oh, no, with, I think what they're referring to is, I'm assuming, but that might be another mod.
Are they talking about England?
I think of the London one.
The London one?
But that might not be what they're talking about. Did you hear about the Fallout mod for Fallout 4 with New Vegas? So maybe they're merging New Vegas into Fallout 4, like upgrading the assets and stuff, like rendering it or running that in Fallout 4.
That would be
I haven't heard of that, but there is the Fallout 4 mod that's coming out that's Fallout London.
That is insane. It is absolutely
dope.
insane. Although speaking of Vegas, like I've been playing, so different Obsidian title. I've been playing The Outer Worlds because I know you like Starfield. Starfield wasn't really my jam, and I was like, all right, let me try this style one that I do like.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I absolutely love The Outer Worlds. Like the story, they try to make every character that you can talk to have at least like a little quirk or something, so they're all interesting to talk to. There's lots of little twists to all the side missions. They're all kind of fun. The one thing that does kill, also it's gorgeous, like this, because it's so stylized, the art really holds up.
Yeah.
The one thing that does kill me though, now that I played Starfield, is the combat, because this is really, and I feel like, well, my first playthrough I did melee.
Yeah.
And compared to Fallout 4, like the melee, like the weight wasn't there, the heft wasn't there when you're hitting someone. So I was like, oh, I should have played this as a range character. Now that I'm playing as a range character, same thing. Like the heft is not there, whereas Starfield really has that heft.
Yeah.
When you're shooting, you can dodge bullets by taking cover and doing all this other stuff. And this, you're kind of getting shot from all angles, so it's, are your stats good enough? You're going to walk into the fight, make sure you're shooting people constantly, like kill them as fast as you can, and it's just a stat battle at that point.
Right.
So,
but with Outer Wilds, you prefer the melee stuff or you prefer the range stuff?
I think they both kind of suck.
Gotcha.
So
see, I got that vibe, and I thought maybe we were gonna go the other direction, but that was my issue playing the game, where it did feel kind of floaty. Like I didn't like the, but then the story.
You can bunny hop. I've been bunny hopping to run faster.
Okay.
So
You do that in Starfield as well. You mainly run across
That's
and
true. Different kind of
jetpack.
bunny hopping. Yeah.
But I did like the shooting in Starfield.
Yeah.
But it seems like impression is like the story and the choices you have as an RPG in Outer Worlds are stronger than what you have in
Yeah.
Starfield.
Yeah. And it does, like, I guess I never got to a point in Starfield where it made me make a big decision. I think the most is like, hey, do you want to actually be a pirate? Or you don't want to betray them for this asshole that's been a jerk to you this whole
Yeah.
game. Oh, I don't know. I wonder who I'm going to pick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
But
true. It was hard to like create, your own scenario.
yeah, but these smaller worlds that are really packed with stuff, like that's kind of what I wished Starfield had been. Is don't give me 1,000 planets, give me 10, and just pack them, and that's kind of what this game did.
It's weird that Outer Worlds, the more I think about it, Outer Worlds was what Starfield should have been if Bethesda made a space
Yeah,
game,
yeah,
but just what maybe beefing up the actual like combat, but instead, they made Starfield more arcadey and maybe funner to play, but not as deep as an RPG.
yeah. But that's why I'm so stoked. We got Avowed. They're gonna do. It sound like a decent dive into it. Was on the 28th or something.
It's coming up. I have that pulled up here from VGC News. So
Excited.
Xbox and Bethesda Developer Direct event confirmed for January 18th, which is in 5 minutes. It's what, next week after that?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff. So Indiana Jones game is going to get showed off from Machine Games. Avowed, like you mentioned. Aura History Untold, which is a game I'm not familiar with.
It sounds like it's a Civ style game.
I see. Okay. And then Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2. I imagine, like I said, the text, finally, we get an actual date. We got a year at the Game Awards. They gave us a year, which is this year, 2024. But Indiana Jones is one I'm super stoked because I love Machine Games. They've made these first-person shooters for a long time with Wolfenstein. Yeah. So to see them jump into, it's going to be a third-person
that
experience.
Is confirmed.
Yeah, I want to say, well, I mean, it's not confirmed, but if I go in my mind, I feel like I remember them saying that.
It does. It feels like it would. I think because Uncharted is sort of the de facto Indiana Jones game, I feel like it feels like it'd be weird if it wasn't.
I think they'll go that way.
But man, can you imagine how cool it'd be if it's first person, you actually got to go into these tomes and like try and figure out what's going. Oh,
that's true. And the whip thing, and throw your hat or catch your hat. I've never watched Indiana Jones in my life, I guess. But
that's basically High on Life at that point. You're whipping around and shooting people.
But there was. Oh God, what's the dev that did Titanfall? So they moved from first-person shooter to a hugely successful Star Wars game where it's third person, and so that move can be done. Or Guerrilla Games with like, their first-person shooter that I'm blanking on for whatever reason.
Oh, not Helldivers. They just look the same.
It's the Hellblade. No, we just said hell so many times.
Oh God!
But
and those games are good too. Killzone. Yeah.
But going from Killzone first-person shooter to Horizon Zero Dawn, which is third person, but it's like it can be done, and it seems like I trust that they're gonna nail this. But I'm just really interested to see like what is this gonna look like, how's it gonna feel, and so I'm excited.
Yeah.
But Avowed also spending time because we've seen little trailers here and there.
Yeah.
But that one I'm also super stoked because I want another Skyrim experience.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna get one for 20 years or whatever how long it takes them. So this is the next best, thing, and I think they can really nail that.
Yeah, I'm so hopeful. Just they're so funny. They've made some of my favorite games, like that Stick of Truth, like just nonstop riot the whole time. So
we'll see. And then somebody brought up on Twitter, the last time they did a developer direct, their last little and something else was Hi-Fi Rush that they dropped just that day. So will we see something like that too this time?
I do love that after that stream, like they sent me like a survey or something for Hi-Fi Rush, and like half of the questions were about the shadow drop. And like, would you like us to do this again? Is this a thing?
Everybody loves the shadow drop. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if they shadow dropped everything. And like, I know the thing I find hilarious is like journalists fucking hate shadow.
Oh sure, because they're at home or whatever. Like, I have to create a an article or whatever.
Yeah, scheduled out the whole week, got a whole plan, and now you guys just bulldozed my plan. All right, well, thanks.
Meanwhile, a YouTuber just whips out a video in 30 minutes, and it's already more views than their website would have anyways.
Yeah, but I mean, at least that was the double nice thing. At least that one. Well, I guess it's not free on Steam, but it's free on Game Pass. So that's. you don't really need a review. You can pop in and see if you like it.
Right.
I still need to beat that because everyone tells, like, from what I've heard from people on podcasts, is like the best is still yet to come. What I played is really good. I've gotten through 2 bosses, but like once you get the I don't know, where you can jump to enemies and enemies can jump to you, and then
Okay.
there's the repost or whatever. They're like, that's when it really gets going. And I got the reposts, the whatever that is.
Which game are you talking about?
Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh, okay. I'm not familiar because I haven't played it. I know people loved it, but gotcha.
Yeah.
I see.
But yeah, it feels really cool. But yeah, there's supposed to be some really good songs.
And that was the Evil Within team.
Yeah, which is insane.
Such a weird type of experience to create, but that's awesome, and people really dug it. It was nominated for stuff at the Game Awards.
Yeah, that was sort of the awkward thing too with it. Like during that announcement, like the director from Evil Within was just like, "Yeah, so I just kind of let this guy make whatever he wanted." And I was like, "Yeah, go do it." And then like immediately afterwards, quits the studio.
Whoa. So okay, so that same kind of talent creating this thing is no longer there.
Yeah, so which is weird because I don't know why that would be. Like, I mean, he made his own studio so he could make what he wanted, and I would figure with Microsoft's hands-off approach, he can extra not make what he wants. So, but is this the only game they've made under Microsoft? Because I don't think Evil Within, I don't think they were purchased
Since
by the time
they were,
made...
but the Bethesda acquisition, I think so. I think at least with Evil Within, it was already being made, worked on rather, and then launched during that.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but then I wonder what their main focus is. Because it seems like a side thing, right? Or it was all hands on deck to make this, and then it's the next project.
That's the weird thing. Like, we say side thing, but this would have taken so much money and team and effort to make. Like,
gotcha. This was on Digital Foundry had their breakdown for the year of like the best looking games, and this was on there where they were really giving high praise for just the style and like how they pulled off everything, the animations, as far as like the timing of the animations versus like the world and how they did like the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse kind of like effect with stuff.
Oh, yeah. The animating on the 2s or animating on the 4s or whatever.
There you go.
Yeah, no, that they did a tremendous job. And the effect breaks when they need it to. So when you're actually doing gameplay, he's not animating quite the same. But yeah, it's, man, if you haven't played it,
I haven't and I need to.
Yeah, I'd recommend just give it a shot, play it for a little bit, get to the first boss if you're tired after that point. But man, there's nothing like it. So
that reminds me, or that brings up one of our stories coming up, which is Sea of Thieves PS5 version, also rumored after Hi-Fi Rush. So this comes from PlayStationLifestyle.net. It's been all over online, but the report
rumoring a Switch version too.
Yeah, so the scuttlebutt is
Switch
Hi-Fi
2
Rush,
version.
Could be Hi-Fi Rush coming to PS5 and or Switch as well. Yeah. But then also tied with that, people hearing Sea of Thieves might have a PS5 version too. So part of that conversation was people being, as they are, like people just being like divisive. They're like, oh, they don't want to see these Xbox exclusives go to PS5.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and maybe more with something like Sea of Thieves because it's been there for so long, and it just seems tied to Microsoft now to Xbox. But with Hi-Fi Rush, I think that's fine to me. But yeah, people being kind of negative on the idea of these leaving the Xbox platform.
Part of me feels like this is just so Microsoft can have a little less of a hard time next time they try and like buy up the rest of the industry in one go.
True. They're just being friendly with like, hey, these games are releasing elsewhere. Yeah.
You can let us buy Ubisoft. It's fine.
But also tied to this is like they need to sell software. So if they 100%. Wanted to actually be successful, more successful anyways, put it on PS5 and Switch. Because it's like no one or way less people are buying Xboxes now.
Yeah.
That was another article over the holiday break was PS5 had reached 50 million consoles sold. But while Xbox doesn't report their sales, it was seemingly like 3-1 being sold, where 3-1 PS5s over Xboxes.
Oh, that's not great.
Which is not great. And so, yeah, it's like, hey, put your software elsewhere so people can buy it. And you can build that community, too. So it's like if you drop Sea of Thieves 2, it's only on Xbox. Bam, you've got these fans. They want to play it.
Yeah.
They have Jump Over. They have a reason to buy an Xbox. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always curious how this... And it makes sense, too, if they can get it on Switch. I don't know about either of those games working on the Switch one, though, because Sea of Thieves has some pretty crazy physics.
Very true. Even Hi-Fi Rush, it's still like
so much shit on the screen at any point in time. Right. So I don't know, but Switch 2, maybe.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't see any harm in them putting it on Nintendo because it seems like Nintendo, and this was their strategy from back on the Wii. The Nintendo's your second console,
right?
So, and they're cheap enough so you can have whatever you're gonna have, and then
And I would
Nintendo.
feel like most people, but I mean, I could be wrong. I feel like most people would have a console, dedicated console, and then their Switch as well.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's still millions of people that's like, I just have my Switch, and because I bought over the pandemic, I started playing. What's that game where you have to evict people, where you start off on this island and you immediately have to work off your debt? Animal Crossing.
Oh, Animal Crossing. Really, you played Animal Crossing?
I just remember the memes because that was huge over
okay.
the pandemic when it first hit. It was like
Yeah.
that game also launched right then and there, and so
Yeah.
people were buying out Switches in love with that game.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
We have
Can we
two Muppets on the floor that are attempting to murder each other.
I'll bring Rooney. I'll bring Lily up.
Okay, Lulu.
Yes. Yes.
Come in.
Oh, now she doesn't want to crawl on you.
The people are here for you.
Yes. Oh my goodness. You still smell those chicken wings I had? Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Can you give a word to the people?
She does fart a lot more, but it's hard to get her to do that on command. Just don't let her climb all the way. She'll climb on the table.
We did what did you say?
I said, don't let her climb on the table.
Okay. We did board game night last weekend, and I swear one of the dogs. I don't know if it's the medication they gave her because she just got fixed, but like she was a fart train. Just you couldn't let her near the table because you would just oh my god, the worst smell in my life.
Okay, guys, go play.
Oh, you're cutting my wire.
Oh no.
Right,
oh yeah, true. Don't unplug it. That'll be bad. Come on, let's go. China, you guys go play.
Yeah, it seems like a smart move for Microsoft. Whether the other people are going to let them do that, I don't know. I think Nintendo, especially with like the stuff they did with Banjo-Kazooie, and they've been friendly with letting them have some of their rare stuff back for like Virtual Console. I think Nintendo's friendly enough.
Yeah.
Despite that whole leaked email about Nintendo's not smart enough to realize they should just let us buy them.
Yeah. But they seem to have a better connection. At least it feels that way. But honestly, are a lot of Xbox games going to Switch currently?
No, I don't know.
To like facilitate. Oh, they have a good relationship with each other.
I don't know of any.
Yeah.
Like not even like I feel like one that would be a natural fit.
But they were vocal about bringing Game Pass to Switch. Like I remember.
Yeah, they wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Them being like honest about like we would put it there. So it's like they at least on the Xbox side they have that you know that connection that they want to see fulfilled. But it could be where. You mentioned Switch 2. Like, how dope would it be? Switch 2 is revealed, and then they already have this slate.
Game Pass on it?
Game Pass on it, or like a lot of these games like Sea of Thieves that are committed to launch there, too. So it's like older properties from Xbox. They're not going to launch anything like first there, but you have these games that have been on Xbox for a while that are now on Switch.
That'd be such a, like, you think about what a big deal that is, especially imagine you don't have all these responsibilities you do now. Imagine you're a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I gotta get my Switch 2, my Mario, and also, oh, all my dad's like Xbox library as well. Like, it'd be double Christmas.
Yep.
So,
we'll see. I mean,
one could hope.
Yep. We're in the year of the Switch 2, so we'll figure this out. Very soon.
And if it's not,
Gavin, I had something else for you. We'll end on this Fall in London, just because that was reminded to me by YNT. But it's a mod that's coming out very soon.
Did you see the video of them explaining everything they
put
in there?
They're putting
it's
tons.
long.
Yeah, they're putting tons of work into this. It's insane. And although when I watch it, I think of just like the legality. Like, how does that work with such a fully fleshed mod where they've added all this content to a game that already exists, and they're able to sell it, right? Like, there's a team of people working on it, so they have to make money back off of this.
I mean, I don't know that they do, but like if they are selling it, I will buy it. I'm very hopeful. I mean, you see the passion on this, and also I'm sure we'll get more. That was one of the big things on that no clip from the guy that worked at Bethesda. Is he mentioned how it used to be like they kind of trusted everyone, and so like if you wanted to put something in the game, you just kind of did.
Right.
And that's not really around anymore. They got too many people to go through. So my hope is with this smaller modder team, they're just going to go buck wild with it, and we could have something really special here.
Yeah, they were in this fully, this really long. Yeah, it's the dogs playing around.
Or we could have a similar situation where you think, what is it, Forbidden City or The Lost City? There was that game where it's like a time loop game, and originally it was a
Skyrim mod, right?
Skyrim or Oblivion, one of those two. And like people loved it, so eventually he just turned it into a full-fledged game, and it was one of my favorite games of the year that came out. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So maybe people see this team and what they're capable of, and this game is awesome. And they say, let's throw money at them. Let's let them make their own game.
Yeah, because they're creating new assets. I know they talk about that in this trailer.
Yeah.
New like additional voice dialogue that they created for this. So all kinds of stuff that's being added onto it. It's not just the bones of Fallout 4.
Yeah.
But then I wonder, because I go back to like, how is this allowed? Or I think of like, what if they touch on something that Bethesda planned on doing?
I think that's a concern. And you look at Fallout 76, like they're hitting a lot of cities in that, which I still need to play because a lot of that DLC looks fucking
That's another
fun.
where it's like, I got to go back to it because they've added so much stuff.
But every time I go back and I do that tutorial, I'm like, just fucking shoot me.
Yeah.
It's so bad. And it really wants you to build a thingy.
I hate that so much.
I just don't want to.
Yeah, no, I don't want to build. Yeah, that was a huge turn off for me in Fallout 4. I just did whatever minimum I had to do. Okay, it's just like, leave me alone. Guys, these dogs, man.
Might lose our green screen here.
Yeah.
But the minute that was the nice thing in Fallout 4.
Would
The
you kick
minimum
open that door more just so they can have a reason to leave.
The minimum was so minimum. You could just go out, you could build a thing, you could even delete it after you built it, walk away, and you were done. But
yeah, with 76, it's tied to their forts they need. Like that's a whole thing. Like with creating a structure that people would battle against you with. And
this is interesting. It looked like the interface isn't necessarily.
Oh, they're changing the Pip-Boy. It's called something. It's like a good old boy or something. Something British. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
fantastic. Awesome. That's the other thing I want. Like I had a buddy who said like the next Fallout should be in China and get their perspective on it. Like give me other countries.
Interesting. Yeah. Like, yeah, they really just focus on America.
Like that's part of why I think, and I've never played it, but that's why I think Fallout Vegas was probably so interesting. Like they were mostly on hit, which I believe doesn't make sense because aren't there military bases out there and like a dam that you could wreck shit with?
Yeah, I think realistically, it would be wiped off the face of the earth.
But they still have their dams, so they still have power. Like very different. I want different perspectives, and I don't think that's what West Virginia really gave us with.
No, and it was way more colorful. But that's a selling point. But yeah. Gavin, $1 stream there for the week.
Yeah.
You can catch us on Twitter at Plastic Heart Pod. Gavin, if you'll tell the nice people out there, good night.
Good night, nice people out there.